Welcome to the AM briefing video presented by microstrader.com, where together we trade better. Good morning and welcome to the AM briefing on FOMC day. Last night I was thinking about, I'm like, what acronym could we use that for? Find out micro chumps? So we will see what the day brings. Today, Philippians 2:3, do nothing out of rivalry or conceit, but in humility consider others as more important than yourselves. Today's tip of the day, do your end of the day chart every day. Do your end of the day chart every day. Why? It builds confidence in the system. Our group is not about my trading. It's not about my results. I'm just the captain of the ship, and that ship is our core strategy at its foundation. Yes, there are additional trades, but the basic trades are our core strategy. How do you build confidence in that system? The newer you are, the more important it is to do that end of the day chart after you earn those first 4 badges in boot camp. It builds your confidence. You will see, geez, it worked, it worked, it worked, it worked over and over and over. It builds consistency in your routine. It builds consistency in your discipline. I do my end of the day chart because I said I was going to do my end of the day chart. Not whether I feel like it today or not. I'm going to do it because I said I'm going to do it. It is part of my professional preparation as a trader. I do my pre-flight before the market opens, and I do my debrief when it's over. Part of my debrief is doing an end of the day chart, screenshotting it and putting it in my trade journal. And I'm doing a trade journal because I know that's what a professional trader is doing, because I am a professional trader in development. Okay. So these end of the day charts are critical to your success. It says stay on track there. You know why? Because when a trader goes off the rails, stay on track. When they go off the rails, the first question I ask, have you been doing your end of the day charts? 100% of the time, the answer is no. The answer is no. One of the reasons of doing the end of the day chart, how many of your trades corresponded to the end of the day chart? How many of them corresponded to the end of the day chart? That's something to keep a look at. Or were you just taking trades that you look at and go, what in the world was I doing? I've got to stay on track. That is also something great to journal. If you are using my journal tracker, maybe create a column. What percentage of the trades did you take were core strategy? Or you put in there on your, one of the columns you could add is how many core strategy trades were there? What was the number of wins, the number of losses, the number of break evens? Might be something worth keeping in your journal, because you will see that track record over time of, oh my goodness, what a great success. You know what? I want to show you something. I'll show you here in a minute. Let's keep going through this. So today is the show, my friend. Come on, today is the show. What does that mean? It is FOMC. This is what we're here for. I am going to stream. I'm actually going to try to stream this morning and this afternoon. I'm going to test this morning about streaming on YouTube while I'm doing Zoom. So if you come to the Zoom, it might end if I don't like how it's working with my system, how it's especially working with the audio. But in the afternoon, I will certainly stream just exclusively on YouTube. This new iMac Pro, not iMac Pro, I wish it was an iMac Pro, Mac Mini Pro, should be able to handle it. But the last time I tried to Zoom and YouTube, it was doing some funky stuff with my microphone. So we are going to test that. So just reminders, we will be doing our mental training this morning, 30 minutes before the market opens. I cannot live stream that. That is copyrighted material. So I will be going live 10 minutes before the market opens, okay? If you haven't got your hands on that free foundations course, do it. Grab yourself a Zoom pass and earn those badges so you too can learn to draw these end of the day charts. So last week, our results were 14-0-1. So far this week, we're 18-0. If you just took every core strategy with an ideal stop loss, you would have done very, very well. And that's the key, isn't it? But before we begin, a word from our sponsor.
Now it's time for America's favorite game show.
Trap the Trader! Yay!
Now it's time for everyone's favorite categories.
Check it out.
Over-leveraging, revenge trading, blowing your accounts, I just love resets, and FAFO. And now let's meet today's contestants. Johnny, I just have to trade every day, Johnson.
Hey, Bob, happy to be here.
Sam, never saw a short I didn't short, Stevens.
Hey.
And Malcolm, make matters worse, Montgomery.
Who told you that?
And everyone's favorite, back with a fresh 10 set of accounts, Rusty Reset Roberts.
Not today, Bob.
And Freddie FOMO Fredrickson.
FOMO.
And of course, our returning champion, Patrick Predict Price Patterson.
It's going up today, Bob.
Remember, traders, it's all fun and games until the market opens. And until next time, don't become a victim of...
Trap the Trader!
All right, yeah. Don't become a victim of Trap the Trader. So I know one of the things I wanted to show you here. Let me load this. You go to my website. That's not my website. All right, so let me show you this. Let me slide this over. Okay, so on microstrader.com, especially if you're new, I mean, I would encourage everyone who's even thinking of joining there, come over here and look at our results, okay? This is 1 year of me keeping detailed analytics on our core strategy, okay? This video 1 of 2, this is a quick overview of that data, okay? And then there's some of the members' comments about it. And then I did a deep dive. I originally only did this for members, but I decided to share it publicly there. And then here's the database, okay? I recorded 889 of the core strategy trades in a year with a day of the week, what entry was it, and other data there. You can see that as well. So this is certainly critical because our strategy doesn't matter if we can't back it up with results. And this is where your end of the day chart come in, because your end of the day chart should mirror over time these results. So something to check out if you haven't actually checked that out. So yesterday, although it was 10 winners, I had 1 loser. It was not a core strategy trade. There are more trades than just the core strategy trades. It was in the profit. And I said, I am going to die on this hill that I just believed we were going to do something. And I said, I will be willing to take a loss here. And it'll be 1 loss and done day for me. And well, it was 1 loss and done day for me. Is I was expecting at some point here, this thing to kind of go back up and the Bulls kind of reclaim some dominance because they had wrestled some away. That did not happen. So, I took a trade. Actually, I don't even remember where it was. And who knows? It could have been core strategy. Actually, it wasn't core strategy because I was dropped in time frames. I am 99% sure it was in this move here. That it was in this move here. We dropped in time frames. When you see these really clear trend lines, like really clear trend lines, usually that's short-term traders that's going to take this market. But boy, they continue to fail and continue to fail. And in this area here, we had 10 beautiful core strategy trades, but I took 1 trade. And I said, if it's a loser, I am done. Why? Because, well, it was the day before FOMC. It was contract rollover, and it was the day after a big day. And we came right back into the range. Honestly, I'm surprised we didn't make it further down. And also, I knew we were in the middle of the middle. We were at the POC for the last week. Not the greatest place to trade. Usually it means complex chop, and that's exactly what you got. When you're in the middle, expect complex chop. But if you took the core strategy trades, the third one I teach, boy, that would have been wonderful. But I removed myself from the trading floor, went and spent the afternoon with my wife. She's off for spring break. So it is what it is. So what happened overnight here? Well, let's remove this. Well, actually, let me bunch this up. Let's go to a 10-minute chart. And I'm going to slide this over here. All right, let's move it to my initial quitting time in the morning. So pretty much stayed within this chop range. You would extend that up a little bit, but I actually no longer need these two things, because what you do is you come in and you mark your low, you mark your high, you mark your half back, and you mark these session highs and lows, and you're ready to go. It really doesn't matter. It's FOMC morning, and a lot of times it's pretty uneventful, but we'll trade the levels as they develop. You can still see we are inside of this multi-week range. Here, let's bring this stuff in, guys. Let's bring this stuff in. This is pretty obvious to see this chop zone here. It could be extended to here if you wanted. It could be in a lot of different shapes, but I believe this is the correct shape, and we are in the upper distribution of that chop range. Yeah, so that's what it is. If we get up over it, we're going to target the trend line. Going to target this high with this trend line. Boy, that would be an interesting place for there to be a reaction. That would be an interesting place. If we push down to here into this green area, take out this low here, which coordinates pretty well with the bottom of that range, unless you extended the bottom of the range a little bit more. But I think right there is probably perfect. So we've got this bottom of the range here, and if it came here, pushed a little bit, came back in, we'd be looking to go long. So we will trade the levels as they develop. So let's go take a peek at everybody else here. So basically at halfback, basically at halfback, basically at halfback. Tried to explore above the range. Righty actually had an inside day, but it's in the upper distribution as well. There's nothing too exciting here today. As I said, we will trade the levels as they develop. So I got a couple parting messages for you about today, FOMC. Remember, if you'd like to join us live, I'm going to try to go live 10 minutes before the market opens.
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
Don't whiz on the electric fan.
Stay green, my friends. And to learn more about our group, go to microstrader.com.